All right, excellent, guys. Welcome to the Kilimanjaro Leadership Summit 2020 launch webinar. Thank you all. Woohoo! Our journey begins now. So excited to have you all join us. So excited, and really, I feel privileged to be able to take so many people up that mountain. I just want to start off first by acknowledging all of you and thanking all of you for choosing to do something like this with us. And trusting me with your training, your preparation, and also with your lives in some shape or form as we take something like this on and go up the mountain. And also, with your vision or goal of whatever that is that you'd love to cause or create in your world and in your life. And most of those things that we're looking to create, there's often something that's stopping us or that's in the way of that. And we're going to look at what that is so that we really create an exciting context for what this leadership summit is about and why it's not just a climb. And all of you that have signed up, there's an amazing group of you. We have people from the US, from Australia, from the UK, from Mozambique, from all over the world. We're going to definitely have some people from Zambia, from the UK, and it's really creating this global community of bringing us all together. So this is recorded, and these will all be recorded. We do recommend, of course, that you join them all, as many as possible, live, so that we can have, something to converse about, something to interact about, and that's what we're going to be creating on each of these webinars. And I invite all of you to really get connected to, or begin to think or expand on why you're doing this. What is your why? What is that something in your life that you want to cause or create or transform? And before we get into that, let's have a look at why we're having these weekly webinars, right? We want to keep all our energy and our reason and our purpose and our training, keep that live and relevant, because if we are not present to why we're doing this, if we're not present to what it takes, it's very easy to go into our head, go into our circumstances, go into our reasons, go into life got busy and took me away from this. And I'm going to share a very inspiring story, which we will look at later on in another webinar, about someone very popular who used this in the area of business, and they became a multi-billionaire and now are an owner of a private equity fund. They sold their company to Amazon, and we're going to look at how that began for this person. So in fact, this just came in the post today. I've had this copy of this book called Delivering Happiness. And if any of you have not read this book, this is the comic version of the book Delivering Happiness. Actually, I'll show you the original book about it. It is a book by the company, if you're familiar about this company in the US, or I've heard about them, it's called a company called Zappos. And Zappos were known for their excellent customer service, and they sold shoes. And this company that sold shoes, they introduced the money back guarantee. You can refund anytime, and everyone's copying their model. What we have normal now, that you can order shoes and trial them out for 30 days or 60 days, all really got perfected by this company called Zappos. And Zappos recently sold for a few billion to Amazon, and Jeff Bezos, before buying them out, tried to put them out of business, and he tried to sell the exact full stock line of Zappos at about 10, 15, 20% cheaper than Zappos. So they couldn't compete with his pile of cash, but yet nobody went to Amazon to buy their shoes. They carried on buying from Zappos, and ultimately he had to buy out Zappos. Was his only way of getting it. And the founder of that has created, there's a comic version of this book called Delivering Happiness. They're focused on excellence and contributing to the happiness of customers. And this book, which is a comic, this is a great one for kids. It's a very quick read as well. You can get this version called Delivering Happiness. And he sold, they're over $1 billion in sales. They sold for 1.2 billion to Amazon. So the details are back there. But he talks about, in this book, the start of a particular chapter that was a turning point for them was he had booked to go on this holiday. He had booked with somebody to go and do Kilimanjaro. And I'll read what it says here at the start of it, and this may come up for some of us. I thought that there couldn't be a worse possible time to go climb a mountain in Africa where there would be little or no access to phone or internet. This is a guy that's running an internet-based business. They sell shoes online. They don't have a store presence. And they were looking at warehousing all their stuff with multiple warehouses, distribution, fulfillment companies that they work with. And through very hard times, it couldn't have been a worse time for him to go to Kilimanjaro. But he said, look, I've given my word to this. I'm going to go and do it. And I'll cut the story short, but at the back here, this is them, a cartoon of them reaching the summit, on summit night, of getting to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. And when they got to the top, one thing he got really connected to was, if I can do something like Kilimanjaro, which a finite number of human beings have got to do, if I can do something so hard, then I can do anything. And so it says here, and I want you guys to remember this when you're working on something you want to cause in your life, that anything is possible. So whatever it is you want to create, the more empowering, the more challenging, the more risky that big area of life you want to cause a transformation in or a breakthrough in, however hard it may feel or however much you might feel there's some blockage or hurdle in the way, we're going to call those blocks or hurdles mountains. And we're going to use this real mountain called Kilimanjaro to really look at how we can overcome those or summit those mountains in our life. And to really overcome those mountains, it's not the mountain that we take on, it's not the mountain that we conquer, but it's ourself that we conquer. We have to disappear our ego for our greatness to emerge. I also just want to acknowledge we have Dr. Krupali Patel, who's joined us from the US. So welcome, Krupali.
Hey.
Lovely to have you on.
Hey, how are you? Sorry, I was a little late.
No worries. But guys, I encourage you to all put yourselves on camera so people see who's who and where they're joining from, so you get familiar with each other as well. So feel free to put your camera
Juggling
on.
my work with us. I'm at work right now, so I apologize.
Okay, no worries. No worries. So remind, the purpose of these calls is for us to connect and to know each other, because on the mountain, we're doing this as a team. And the only thing in the way of a team is opinions, judgments, concerns. Right now, some of you might be thinking and looking at the other names. If you saw their videos of each other, you'll be thinking, are they my kind of people? Are they the right kind of people? Are they my age? Are they from my background? Will they relate to my career? Will they relate to me being a family person or not being a family person? I'm single. They're all couples. All this stuff is going on in our head. And that stuff that's going on in our head is actually what gets in between the bonding and the connectedness and the unity and the oneness required of a team. So if some of that has been coming up for you, you can raise your hand. You can tell me if some of those thoughts or concerns are there. And I want to assure you that that's normal. But it's also what keeps people out of even throwing the hat over the wall or signing up to something like this, because they want to kind of see what kind of people are doing this. Are they my kind of people? And yet we're all human beings and we are all our kind of people. So the other purpose of these calls is to share progress updates. So as part of our training, when we're going on treks, we're going to record those treks. We're going to take photos. We're going to share videos from them. And the more you share, the more you get to empower others. The more you get to empower others, the more you feel empowered that I've really contributed to this team. I've got to be there on this mountain. And the more you will have a reserve of energy to tap into when you're at your hardest moments on this mountain. So please trust us in the process of how transformative this is and how you will discover a whole new you emerge when you take something like this on. Third thing is, as soon as concerns come up, you have any concern, you have a worry, you have questions, you're unsure about something, please keep asking them and ask them on the group chat. So when I say flag all concerns, any underlying concern that you have will only grow if we don't take it out. It's what we call the poo under the rug. If there's some underlying worry or concern you have and you put it under the rug, you've not cleaned up the living room, you've just kept that thing covered up. And so I'll give you some examples. Some examples are, I have this wobbly knee. I have this wonky knee. I have two wonky knees. I used to have one. I think now I have two wonky knees. And we've seen two types of human beings that take on Kilimanjaro. There are those that believe they can and those that believe they can't. And both are usually right. What I mean by that, we've seen people, a multitude of people who come on and they have issues like they're wobbly knees, or they have a back issue. We have people that have signed up that have one functioning kidney, and others that also have half functioning kidney, and are concerned because they read somewhere online that there might be an issue or risk to them doing it. There are people that have had asthma do this. There are people that have had asthma not do this because they were concerned that that might be an issue that will restrict them. There have been smokers that have done this, and there have been very healthy and fit people that have done this and not done this. So wherever you are, whatever you're dealing with, I want you to consider that there is an array of circumstances that we've come across and dealt with. And one of two things happened between now and getting on that flight to get to Kilimanjaro, including the day before and the day you're about to board that flight. Please remember these words. Something may come your way. Some hurdle may come your way, including when you land there. Your baggage might not land there. So be ready to expect the unexpected, right? It's happened before. We've had people who have a wonky knee and they go for a checkup, and one doctor recommends a surgery, and others say, another doctor for the same patient say, you don't need surgery, go and do Kilimanjaro, we'll look at your knee after that. We've had one person focus on taking on the surgery, working on themselves, thinking they can do this, and eventually saying, look, I can't do it, and they pull out. And even after they've healed and recovered, they've never been able to bring themselves back to, I'm taking on Kilimanjaro. So this is a big thing you're taking on. It's not to be taken lightly, but your subconscious mind is more influential than your conscious mind, more influential than what you consciously say or sign up to. It's very easy to sign up to something, but your subconscious mind can take you out of the game by saying, I have anxiety attacks, I have wobbly knees, I have back issues, I have a half-functioning kidney, I have asthma, I have diabetes, I have high BP, all of those issues or circumstances we've dealt with. And no pressure to our team doctor. We have a doctor in Krupali who's joining us, but we also have first aid trained people, myself, that are first aid and high altitude trained, as well as other people there. So, but there isn't a requirement for a doctor on this. I'm just mentioning that we do have one amongst us, but that doesn't mean as well that Krupali, there's any added pressure on you, or that we're expecting anything off that. It might be comfort for others, but I want to also let you know we've had doctors in the past who have been part of a trek group, and sometimes the doctor has been the first one who struggled with altitude, and so sometimes we need to help the doctor in the team. So there's no pressure on you. We're all equals on the mountain. So any concerns or questions that come up, please flag them. So I want to start off there. Can you guys, anyone, just introduce yourself, who you are, where you're joining from, and please share any concern, anything you're looking forward to, and any concern you might have. Who'd like to start? All right, go for it, Saj. Introduce all of them.
Hi everyone. My name's Saj. I'm here with my wife Tarina.
Hello.
Hey, Tarina.
My eldest son Druan.
Druan.
And my youngest son Niam. And
Niam.
we're all. This is our adventure for 2020. This is our family adventure for 2020. And so we created it.
When Kanea heard Druan and Niam, and he's come to the screen.
Hey, look, there's Kanea.
All right. So what are you looking? This is your adventure for 2020. What are some of the concerns that you have?
I suppose that the immediate concern is, I mean, parents with children.
Yeah.
Right.
We're looking after them as well as us.
They're also not going to have their iPhones or their Fortnites and, you know, all of that stuff. But these guys are like transformed individuals. So hoping that that won't come in. But, you know, the usual sort of parent-child connection and how do we as parents, because normally we're the blockers, right?
Yeah.
The kids are okay, but it's my sort of concerns or Tarina's concerns of like, oh, have they eaten enough? Or is that, you know, all of those things coming up?
Yeah.
How to deal with that.
Got it. And Tarina and the kids?
Any concerns?
Yeah, for me, a little bit of what Saj said, but yeah, my own
concerns of, am I fit enough to do this? At the moment, I'm not. Will I be fit enough? Yeah, that's the
Got
only
it.
thing coming up.
Okay,
Niam?
so parent concerns, fitness concerns.
Niam,
Niam?
go on, you on.
No.
No concerns from Niam.
No.
Drew?
No concerns.
No concerns. All right. So Niam and Drew, and if anything comes up for you along the way, along the training, we have our first trek on 26th January in London. Those of you that are local, if anything comes up along the way in terms of buying gear or anything of that sort, or if you have concerns about, will I have a phone? Will I have data? Am I going with all these old people? Is it going to be fun? Whatever comes up, I want you guys to know that we are looking forward to you guys leading the way. We're going to have a lot of fun with you guys. And if anything, it's, for many of us, it's our opportunity. There's one day which is called the inner child. That's the theme of that day. And we have to tap into our inner child. We'll have an opportunity to look at where in our life we stopped playing, we stopped having fun, we stopped taking risks, we stopped jumping from one rock to the other, right? We won't really be doing that, but we won't take it. But where we began to play small. And when we see you two guys take it on, we will begin to see how we've become so safe in life. So whatever concerns mom and dad might have, from my experience, when we've taken kids before, they tend to lead the way and have less of a struggle on the mountain than parents. So looking forward to that fun. For Saj, your parents around parenting and them managing and them without iPhone, whether you want to or not, you can choose to go tech free, but of course,
The iPhone thing was a joke. I mean, they're not taking their phones. It's just the joke with them because having distractions.
Yeah. So, but just want to say that while we're there, that the best way, the lightest camera you can take is a really good iPhone or a really good Samsung, or even better, the Google Pixel camera is amazing at night and for night shots.
Yeah.
So those are great cameras. They probably have the best life and they're probably easiest to recharge with the power bank. So we do take our phones to capture the journey. We also do have data at many points along the mountain, including at the rim of the mountain. Right, not right at the summit point, but at the rim of the mountain, we get, depending on the network and SIM cards we get, we will get some signal at some points.
Brilliant.
So fine to get it, but we'll have a lot of tech-free time. We'll have a lot of time to introspect and be with ourselves and be with our family. Tarina.
Awesome.
So what was yours? Yours was around fitness.
Around fitness.
Around fitness, the journey begins now, right? We're going to be sharing some training and nutrition guides if you haven't already got them. Did you guys receive them already?
The training, yes. The treks and that.
No, the training attachment. There's a sheet with.
Oh, we got that.
I have not.
I haven't opened anything that looks like that.
Okay, it's probably not just sent. We will be sending that out if you've not yet got it.
Okay.
And so you're at the perfect position to really cause an amazing transformation in fitness. And remember that fitness alone, physical fitness alone, is not what will get us to the top. It's more the mental and the emotional fitness. And that's something we will be building through the treks. The best training for trekking a mountain is trekking. And so the more you walk around with a backpack on your back, loaded with between 3 and 5 kilos, the more ready you will be by summit day.
Brilliant. Got it.
Okay. So that is the next point. So one thing I also want to share, and with families, whenever we're doing this with people we know, I want to really be clear about this. And I want to be authentic and share that when I once took a family that were very close knit, I didn't create with them. I didn't get their permission. I didn't ask them to be coachable by me in their hardest moments. And so what happened when one family member was struggling, and my role as a coach is to empower you, to get you out of sort of a victim mode or feeling down on yourself or having a bad day on the mountain. My role is to turn that around for you. And what happens with family is most of us have such a fixed view of each other in our family that when you think, as an example, Sarge, that Tarina has reached her cap, you might be at a point where you're saying, okay, Ronnie, look, I've seen her at this point before. This is the point she needs to turn back. I'm concerned about her well-being. And I might say
The
to you,
opposite.
I might say to you that you've not discovered her own greatness, and neither has she. And what's going to happen beyond this point, if we just rest and take a breather and relax, we can recharge ourselves, rejuvenate, and crack on. But most of us, we polarize. We go from going for it to a complete opposite, which is let's quit and get off the mountain. And what we say is rest, don't quit. So allow us to be a contribution, especially with family. You have to keep giving up what you think is their stopping point, right?
Yeah.
All our stopping points of family members are self-imposed by us, and nobody has a stopping point.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's to all family members. At some point, Drone might think dad is struggling, or vice versa, right? So, okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. So who else would like to introduce themselves? Tell us your name, where you're joining from, and something you're looking forward to or a concern that you have.
Hi, it's Hina. I'll go.
Yeah, go for it, Hina.
Okay, so I'm Hina and I'm from London. And one of the things earlier you said about being about concerns about how will you fit into the family or something like that. So I'm single. So those questions worry me, like how will I fit in? One of the other concern is 2.5 years ago, I climbed the Rainbow Mountain and I was quite overweight and I struggled quite a lot. I was upset, crying, I had vomiting and diarrhea, and I couldn't keep up with the group. So since then, obviously, I've lost a lot of weight, but that's one of my concerns. Will I be able to climb the mountain? The Rainbow Mountain was 5,200 meters, and obviously, Kilimanjaro is the roof of Africa, which I want to do it, but it's quite high, so it's a bit of a concern for me. But one of the things that I want to achieve is get to the roof of Africa.
Got it. So, Hina, that's very clear for you. And I want you to consider that the mountain that you have is in your mind. And that mountain is called, it's a past experience that you have around altitude, around fitness, and around mountains. So
yes, altitude sickness was horrible for me.
Okay, so a few things I want you to get. I want you to isolate that incident and that mountain and that experience specific to that mountain, that experience, that age and stage in your life, and that altitude. What happened there isn't necessarily going to happen here. Where you are now as a body and mind is in a very different position to there. Where you are in terms of your fitness is a very different position. And secondly, where we are in terms of the strategy and approach we're using on this mountain, we're doing 7 days and we are acclimatizing. We have 2 extra acclimatization days on this mountain. This mountain can be done in 5 days. It can be done even in 4 days. It can be done in 3. The world record is actually 6 hours, 57 minutes for this mountain to the summit and down. So we are using 7 days, and this climbing approach we're using, we'll talk about it as we go through the future webinars, is called the climb high, sleep low approach. Secondly, Rainbow Mountain is Rainbow Mountain. When you flew out to Cusco, to Tolima, Cusco, and when you went there, immediately you've gone from an altitude here to suddenly you've gone up 2,000 meters, and your body suddenly operating there. You have little acclimatization time first at that altitude, and then you immediately go up another 3,000, often within a day or maximum 2 days. That's a very short time for your body to generate adequate red blood cells to support you at that level. So those reactions you have are a mode of your body trying to adjust quickly in a short time. We now have 5 days to do that. So we're 5.5 days.
We only had a day and a half.
Exactly. So that could happen to the fittest of people. And I also want you to know that it happened to Martina Navratilova on Mount Kilimanjaro. But that doesn't mean, fitness doesn't mean anything. An 86-year-old lady who's now 87 went back and did it. 89 years old, she went back and did it. And so it's still very doable by anyone else. And it's got not so much to do.
It's also that I don't want to also hold the group back, if that makes sense.
That's a brilliant concern to share. That will never happen. You will never hold anyone back. People will move at their own pace, but the pace on the mountain is a very slow pace. And in Swahili, the words we will say the most, other than asante sana, which means thank you, is we will be saying pole pole. Pole pole is Swahili for slowly. So
yeah, I know, I was born there.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to have a lot of pole pole happening on the mountain. We're going to have an adequate number of guides. The strongest guide is going to be at the back with the people at the back. the maximum distance between the person in front and the person at the back is always 500 meters maximum. We try to maintain that. And when people in front have gone to a head, they slow down. Now, the moment you go into your head that you are holding others down, which is not true, you will begin to carry another load on your back. We will talk about that also in these webinars. So it's brilliant you share this. So guys, when we go to a doctor for a checkup, like if we go to Dr. Krupali now for a checkup, and we've had this pain in our knee, you've heard of this story where you have this pain in your knee, and the earliest doctor's appointment you can get is about 4 days. So you go ahead and book it in. But on the day you go to the doctor, that pain in the knee is often gone. Because when we got on the phone and we declared our pain or what our concern is, by declaring it or distinguishing it, distinction brings disappearance. So that's why I ask people, keep sharing your concerns as they come up, because psychologically, once you say, hey, that's the elephant in the room, that elephant kind of disappears. It's not a thing anymore that's not present to us. So brilliant that you're sharing that, Hina. And you're perfectly positioned mentally and in the right place with the right team to do this. And by the way, you're not the only single person. There are multiple single people on this. Majority of single people.
Any men?
There is one. There is one so far, and there are others sitting on the fence. I tell you, men are indecisive. Women sign up to this without too much thought. And there's there's my wife cheering in the background. And there's so many men that are like, I'm doing this, and they've been procrastinating. And they're sitting on the fence getting a sore butt. But there's one signed up, and he'll be joining us. He's in Australia time zone, so he might make other calls, maybe not today's. And there are a couple others as well that are going to be joining us. Okay. Who else? We'll have one more introduce themselves.
Hello, hey, it's Krupali.
Hey,
I'm
Krupali.
gonna try and start this video. Maybe put a face to my name. I'm sorry, I'm at work right now, but
There you are.
can you guys see me? I don't know if
we
you can
see
see
you.
me. I can't see myself, but whatever, that's fine. So hi guys, I'm Krupali. I'm from Zambia originally, and I live in the US now. Sorry, I'm at work and I can't function this computer. But anyways, yeah, so Hina, I'm single too, if you were worried about that. So
Oh, brilliant.
So no worries about that. So I guess things that I am concerned about, or what's, I guess the same thing, kind of being fit. I've been a slacker for the last 3 months. I went home to Zambia, and since then it's just kind of gone downhill, and laziness has kind of started coming back up. So I guess, yeah, today was like, I started back work today after a week break, and I said, okay, no more now. I'm going to go back into my schedule. But that was my concern, is just trying to keep up with, balancing time with work, and then finding time to maintain fitness, and finding time to go and hike and stuff. So that's kind of my biggest concern. Of course, there's, I haven't told my dad yet that I'm going. So hopefully he doesn't throw a fit yet at me. But those are mainly the two biggest concerns for me. Yeah.
Awesome. We had somebody called Sheena Patel last year who signed up, but please don't tag me on Facebook because I haven't told anyone. And I think she told them 3 weeks before, and we kept tell your family you're going to do this, And
so I told my mom. My mom is like, I'm worried. Okay, I understand you're a crazy person. I love to go outdoors. But my dad, on the other hand, is a very he thinks I never work and I'm always traveling. So I said that, you know what, I'm gonna wait till it's probably 2 months before and then tell him. But at that point, he's not gonna say no. It's just a matter of he really thinks I don't work and I'm always on the plane going somewhere on a vacation. So.
And Mom is joining you for safari?
Yeah, that's the plan, yes.
Okay, and we have a few others on here who are also doing safari with you. And there are some people who will be coming just for safari as well. So, so far we've got numbers confirmed and paid up for safari. So we likely are going to get a really good deal and good results, because I can now book early the number of months we have. And that's summer, so they get quite busy. But we'd love to secure the best spots for safari.
Great.
All right, excellent.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing too is more altitude training. That's the other the issue.
Okay.
Yeah, how do you prepare for that?
So altitude training, there are what's called an altitude training mask you can get, which means as you go to the gym or as you go for a run, you put that mask on. And what it does is it reduces the amount of oxygen coming in through to you. And by reducing the amount of oxygen coming in through to you, it makes your body and lungs more efficient at utilizing less oxygen. Those of you in London and elsewhere in the world, there might be a place called an altitude center. So we have one, I think, somewhere in Hampstead, or there's one near Milton Keynes. Those of you that are in the UK, we've never gone there. I've never used this, and I've never used an altitude training mask. But for some people, psychologically or with a placebo effect, it gives them a bit of comfort that they tried it out and they've done something that feels like a stretch. So if it does give you comfort, or even Londoners, if you want to plan something, you know, part of the leadership is, hey guys, let's book in this weekend and let's all go together, or individually you can look it up and go to this place. It's also a great fun day out to go there. So that's an option, and you can also look for it in your place. In terms of fitness, Kripali, just start off with the training plan. We're going to talk in the next slide about the amount of walking that we need to do and how regular we need to do that. We'll talk in more detail, as well as in the attachment that will be sent to you around nutrition. Can I just, Ambi, the nutrition and training plan has not been sent, right? Okay, so that will be sent. And then mental prep. We're going to look at some visualization. Visualization is picturing you up there, and also want to gain insight and meet others. Now, I'm just feeling bad that we have only one person who hasn't shared, which is Marjan. Marjan, I know you're driving. Are you able to share? You're on mute, so
I can share something.
All right.
Please do share. Me.
Yeah, tell us who you are and where you're from, and a concern that you have.
I'm Marjan, and I'm from London, and I haven't told my dad about my trip, and he's very, very protective of me, especially I've lost my mom recently, so for that reason I'm quite anxious. How am I going to tell him the news? And also goes about fitness, because I used to be fit and doing exercises, but I haven't been doing anything for over a year. And, but beside that, I'm super excited, and I'm trying to see if my husband can join us, which is one of those ones that he's still thinking about it. Which brings me to my question: how late one can join this program?
Sorry, who's thinking about it?
My husband.
Okay. You can join. So we've had this, again, like I say, about women are decisive and men sit on the fence. We've had in the past many married ladies sign up, and the husbands have been like, no, not for me, not coming. And funnily enough, in both those instances, when those husbands saw pictures and videos of the hot showers and the toilets, and they saw how they were, then two husbands signed up to 3 weeks before. So the answer is,
right.
The answer is up to 3 weeks before we can make them join. The downside or the caveat to that is, of course, by then it will be the full price, number one. Number two,
We'll see you later. Take care.
Number two is, if you planning on doing safari with your husband, then safari may not be guaranteed that at that short notice. We can try, but they may not be
right.
for safari, because it's summer holiday, peak school holiday, and there's also we're really booking in the best of hotels. So for one person,
right.
we didn't want to downgrade the hotels because they came in late. So sometimes we can make it happen, but they may either have to stay elsewhere, or in your case where it's a partner, if we can convert a room to a double, because generally these are based on twin sharing, or if we have odd numbers, then we can always make it work. We will try our best, but I would say the sooner they're in, the better. But there will be an impact on price of flights, as well as the price at which they're signing up.
Right. Okay, great. I will definitely pass this message to him.
Okay.
But besides that, I'm super, super excited. I always wanted to do this, and just can't wait.
Okay. So I those of you that yet to tell certain family members, you can share with them about me, that this is now going to be my 5th time. This was designed with a certain level of safety, hygiene, comfort, and security that my 70-year-old dad would say yes to. So for 5 years, I've been inviting my dad to do it. He's turning 75 this year, next month. And I'm still going to invite him. So he may or may not join. Some of his friends are keen at their age. It's designed with a level of comfort, care, food, hygiene, security, and team support that will take care of my 75-year-old dad. And so I promise you that all of you are and can and will be able to do it. It's a true gift for any human being to see the beauty of this earth. So, please consider yourself gifted. What else? We will be learning Kiswahili. Sorry, Marjan?
Sorry, one question. You mentioned something about the pictures. Where can I find those pictures? I've seen some pictures, but on a website, but it's
Which
not
pictures?
including. You mentioned about the pictures of the showers and the facilities and all that.
Yeah, I'll send them all in the chat, but I will also, they're also on Facebook, and I'll be sharing more of them there, and we'll put them on our website. But right now they aren't there, so I will send you. Okay. I'll send them to you now in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, thanks. Bye. So I'll crack on. Also, to learn Kiswahili, it will be good to learn some Swahili words in preparation. Those of you that have been to East Africa before, are from there, or have parents from there, you might know a few words. The more you can learn, the better. It will be helpful on the mountain. We do have English-speaking guides, but there are people like the porters or other staff who may not be as strong in English. But it's just fun to learn another language. I love that. My Swahili keeps improving year on year. There'll be some mountain games and songs that we will do. We will learn them. We'll see some of them today, but we don't have time today to practice it, but we will go over it probably in the next webinar. Getting clear on your goal and the mountain. So what is your why you're doing this? So a simple example is, even those of you that are saying you're single and you're asking, will there be other single men there, or vice versa for men that are looking for ladies there? I'm not intending to do matchmaking on the mountain, but create whatever you think is in the way of you and you getting in a relationship. That thing that you think is in the way is a mind-made mountain. Those of you that are in a marriage or in your own relationship already, might not be in a marriage, you might want to even use your marriage to say, we want to take this to the next level. But there's a way that we are with each other that occurs as a hurdle or a mountain in the way we converse, relate, communicate, support each other. And we want to take that to the next level. So we're going to ask you guys to be sharing these in time. And I'll be asking each of you, starting from this week, to be sharing a photo of you, a little intro of you, and why you're doing this. And I want to tell you that your why will keep being improved. It will keep being refined. And you might add additional things you want to overcome in your life. So the more that you're so clear on what it is you want to transform, the more you're likely to cause a breakthrough in those areas. We've had people cause almost doubling their salary, transforming their career, moving country, getting into a relationship. We've had the first couple that got married. We attended their wedding last year, but they were in our 2014 crew pre-Kilimanjaro. They did the mountain together, pre-FITBANKER, and then they really formed a bond on the mountain. We would tease them about it by the time they came down, and soon they got engaged, and then they got married, and now they're a beautiful, lovely couple. They bought their first house together. It's just awesome what's possible. So don't let any story or reason or excuse or circumstance, which we call a mountain, be in your way. So what's some of the body and travel preparation that you need for this? So please, at a high level, please get connected to this minimum preparation that's required. So daily, endeavor and try to walk at least 3 kilometers a day. Just make that part of your routine. If you have to get off 1 tube stop earlier or 2, Sergeant Tarina, as an example, if you're coming from work to home, if you got off at Turnham Green Station, from there to your house is exactly 1 kilometer. And if you did that twice a day, that's already 2 kilometers done in the day. Go, come. If you just added another kilometer in your course of your day, you've done 3 kilometers daily. Once a week, let's do a 10-kilometer walk. Ideally, have that 10-kilometer walk be with a weighted bag. Tiger, we're on a webinar here. And once a month, let's do a 15-kilometer trek, right? So part of our treks that are designed monthly are between 15 and 20 kilometers. And closer to going to Kilimanjaro, we're going to do more 20-kilometer treks. But for now, factor in 1 weekend where you're going to do 15 kilometers of trekking or walking a day. So if you cannot make our treks, if you're not in London, go to your own calendars and diaries and schedule this in. The next one is practice drinking 3 liters of water, right? It's not normal to consume 3 liters of water. Most of us don't do it. So it's 3 liters of liquids. And on the mountain, we're going to have a keyword. So if everyone sees something beautiful and they say, wow, look at that, or beautiful, or amazing. When you hear those words, everyone drinks. So we have to create some games on the mountain to keep reminding us to drink. 0 alcohol from, actually that shouldn't be 8th August. That should be from 2 weeks prior. So we're going to do it from 31 July. So 31st July, those of you that drink alcohol, please let that be your last day to have any alcohol. We want our bodies to be as resilient as possible. Some people do have a beer the day before they go up the mountain, but I would recommend that we don't. So our body is in optimal position to go up the mountain. Mental prep, visualization. We will keep looking at images and videos of that. Look at images of people who've summited. Stay present to that image. Picture yourself there. Pull for that visual of you at the top of the summit. It becomes a lot more easier for you to physically conquer if you've mentally digested that. We're going to have real food on treks. What I mean by real food, no processed crap. We're trying to avoid having things like crisps. We're going to try to avoid having things like sugary sweets and candy. There will be some stuff that has carb in it, but a slower and low burning carb to give us sustainable energy that lasts longer rather than creates a blood sugar spike. We're going to have, so less sugary carbs. On the mountain, it'll be good to control caffeine. Caffeine helps us at certain moments, but maybe 2 or 3 servings a day is adequate. If we have too much, it may become a diuretic effect. So we might pee too much, we might lose water. So practice on your treks, even here, to control your caffeine intake. Vaccinations, there will be multiple questions for vaccinations. I promise you guys will be asking me this up to the week before. And here's the answer. You need, if you're coming from a yellow fever zone, which might be only those people from Mozambique, then you will need a yellow fever vaccination. You cannot be forced or mandated or be restricted from entering the country if you do not have it. They will ask, but they will not restrict you from entering the country. Nowadays, vaccinations, people choose to live their life vaccination free. So there are a number of vaccinations being recommended, like typhoid, bilharzia, yellow fever. Those all are, they're not requirements. And if you call the Tanzanian High Commission here, if you go to the website, it might be shown on the website as a requirement, but if you call them or go to the office and speak to them, they'll say, look, it's not a requirement, but we recommend it because we want to minimize people falling ill in that country. Now, I've not taken before. I've grown up in Africa. I personally don't. But the one thing I would recommend is anti-malarial. There aren't mosquitoes on the mountain. Mosquitoes don't fly above about 3,000 altitude. And the town we're staying in is at about 14 or 1,500 altitude. And then thereafter, by day one itself, we'll be at 3,000. When we go on safari, there are mosquitoes. So for safari, it'll be good to get anti-malarial. Start your dosage about 6 weeks before. So 6 weeks before, so we're talking of middle of July, you want to, or beginning of July, you want to get whatever you need to do in terms of anti-malarial. So please put that in your diary. Schedule in the 1st July or the last week of June to book an appointment with your GP or your local pharmacy to go and get any anti-malarial. All the other ones are really optional. So unless there's some other outbreak between now and then, we will be monitoring that. The others aren't requirements. Then there are 2 types of insurance we need. So everyone should look this up. One is travel insurance. Travel insurance protects against missed flights, delayed baggage, lost baggage. That's what travel insurance is for. It's to help you with the material things that you need to go up the mountain. Then there's medical insurance. Medical insurance is great to have in case something happens to you and you need to be evacuated from that country. So please write this down or take note of this. You specifically need insurance that will take you, that will allow you to go up to 6,000 meters. We're going to 5,895. So some insurance companies specifically state this does not cover expeditions above 6,000 meters in altitude. That's because most of the trekkable mountains in the world are under 6,000 meters. So that most insurance policies are only up to there. Now, that said, you could still climb the mountain, and if an issue happens, we take care of bringing you down to a certain altitude, and below that altitude, any evacuation is covered by your insurance company. But please get a good travel and medical insurance. I use AXA insurance. It comes with my bank account with Lloyd's Bank. So my Lloyd's Bank insurance, they use AXA as the underwriter, and that covers me for both travel and medical. So please do bear that in mind, and do look at your provider. If you have questions around that, there are some specialist providers based on each country. There aren't ones for Africa. So those of you in Mozambique, you may need to walk into your insurance provider and make a specific request of what you want, and they will cover you. But some of them from there in that region are Bupa. Bupa is in those regions in South Africa. And if you need to be evacuated, then it'll be good to have that and provide the policy. So part of the visualization is this. This image, guys, this is now for you to look at the screen. And Marjan, please only do so if it's safe for you. This is an image of the 2014 crew. That big chubby guy in the front with the Manchester United shirt is me. So at 100 kilos, I could still get up to summit. I was the heaviest. I was the heaviest in that group, and I made it. And if a big guy and chubby guy and unhealthy guy like me could do it then in 2014, then anybody can. There's Ambika in the background there, and so many of our friends from, we had about 5 or 6 countries in this group. So it's very doable. And we had, the youngest was 18-year-olds, the guy in the back with the Zambia hat, and the oldest in this group was 37 at the time. Very doable by as many of us, but visualize you sitting in front of this board. This board is the one that's there at the top, and you will get to be at it or sat in front of it. Jim Carrey has this beautiful quote: I would visualize things coming to me. It would just make me feel better. Visualization works if you work hard. That's the thing. You can't just visualize and go eat a sandwich. So what we mean to say by this is, yes, visualize you at the top, but you've got to train each month. You've got to have the right nutrition. You've got to practice getting a certain amount of hydration in your body. Prepare for that, and that will all contribute to that vision and visual you're holding true for yourself. And that's true also for that thing you're working on, your why. Visualize you in that relationship. Visualize you having that optimal, adventurous, unstoppable family. Visualize you in that new career. Visualize your business going through the next hurdle, and whatever's in the way, we will overcome that over 7 days on this mountain. And I want to remind this might sound discouraging for some, but it's not about summiting the mountain. It's about giving your best. So even if we don't summit, don't focus on summit. Don't focus on the pressure to be with everyone else. We're always going to prioritize your well-being. So there might be a time where we have to say, hey, look, let's come back next year, right? I honestly mean that, because I'm going to make sure that your well-being is prioritized. And for some people, it has a positive effect when I say that, because they're like, hell no, there's no way I'm paying that amount of money and not summiting. But don't create self-imposed pressure, because nobody's going to force you to the top. We're just going to invite you and ask you, is that the best? Do you need to rest instead of quit? We're going to offer you loads of options before we have to choose to turn down. The 7 days on the mountain begin now. Some people don't summit when they start off thinking it's in the bag. And what I mean by it's in the bag is you might think it's easy. You might think you're naturally fit. You might think you've run marathons. Some of the fittest people struggle. As what we say is, leave the ego at base, right? On that mountain, whether we are billionaires or millionaires, whether we are doctors or CEOs or university students, whatever we are, whatever stage we are in, we say leave your ego at the base, because on that mountain, all we are is human beings, and we're humans there for each other. And your hardest moment when you're struggling, regardless of your bank balance, regardless of your fitness, regardless of your title in life and society, you might have 12-year-old Niam reach out to you at your hardest moment and say, come on, big man, let's do this. And he might pull you to over the hardest hurdle that you face. And that happens. We had that with a 9-year-old girl. Everyone was concerned about the 9-year-old girl. She summited an hour and a half before her mum did, right? And her mum's been training a lot more than the 9-year-old girl. but the 9-year-old girl got there hopping and skipping. And we also had her on our shoulders at the last bit, the last 0.5%. And it was just like a joyride for her. Some people don't submit when they think the bag. So really leave that ego at the base and put in the training, all physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and trust the process. We've done this multiple times. So all our training that we're doing, we're going to come back to this slide at some point later on, is building our subconscious. Every day, every month that we're going up Mount Kilimanjaro, or we're training right now out there, we're filling what's called our subconscious bag. There's a book called In the Zone. Where is that book? It's a book that we use in reference on the mountain. And In the Zone is an interview of some of the greatest athletes and performers and sports personalities. And they shared how every time that they're training, they're putting all their training and experiences in this subconscious bag called In the Zone. I'm holding up a copy of the book, by the way, those that are not looking at the screen. And what they do is that they say, here's a quote by Usain Bolt and Lewis Hamilton at the back. You're so focused, you know exactly what's going through your mind and exactly where you are. So all that's happening on the mountain, consider you would have pre-lived that through our training and through our visualization. And on the mountain, we're just going to tap into our subconscious bag, and we're going to keep picking out all our learnings and lessons from all the treks we will do each month. So the more treks you can show up to, even those that are internationally, I'm going to extend the invite for the residential treks, the treks that we're doing in Wales. We're going to go to Wales, to Brecon Beacons, and to Mount Snowdon. If you can make those dates, we've had people fly in before for them. It's another holiday for you. Just take 5 days off, come and stay here with us. One of us will host you, and you can join us for that trek. And it's just a great way to just connect with people and be a bit more comfortable. There'll be some music and singing. There'll be a mantra. Everyone creates a mantra. So note this down, those of you that have a notepad there. Just note down a mantra that you're going to create that will take you through your hardest moment, and you're going to be sharing your mantra with everyone. Nothing to fear, as mentioned, our concerns, our subconscious fears, they have power. They will show up and come to the surface. So if you keep thinking about that wonky knee is going to show up. If you keep thinking about, I don't know what's going to happen with my dad's health this year, that may show up. If you think, I don't know what's going to happen with my house or my property or my financial situation or my job, that will show up. If you think you don't know what will happen with your immigration visa, your work permit, your student visa, all that will show up and get in the way. Whatever we focus grows, and it has power, and you give energy to it. So focus on the things that will support you. I spoke about the mantra. This is Simran Badesha's mantra. She was 113 kg. She took on the FITBANKER challenge. She lost 15.8 kilos. She then signs up to Kilimanjaro a few months later. She had added on some weight. She lost a further 10 kilos again in preparation for this, and ultimately was 20 kilos lighter than her heaviest. And her mantra was this: I didn't get this far to just get this far. And in her hardest moment on the mountain, we kept reminding her of this. So I'm going to invite you all to create your mantra, and you share that with the team. You might share that in your post. So like I said, I'm going to ask for a photo from each of you, and write up a small blog that I can post on my profile and on my Facebook and on my Instagram, saying, hi, my name is Saj, and I'm doing this because of this. I'm looking forward to X. My concerns are this, but here is my mantra, and this is why I'm doing it, and this is my mantra that will take me through. So please bring your why you're doing it, share your concerns, get them out there, disappear them by putting them out into the ether, and come with a powerful mantra. Create a mantra, let the team know what it is, start generating it, keep saying it as we prepare for this. And one more why, as mentioned, we will be fundraising for a cause. There's a place called Sandaka Deaf Center. They have about 100 children. And for the ordinary person, 1 year of school, they take about 2 years to go through each grade. So 7 years of primary education takes them about 14 years. And we make a difference by fundraising for them, giving them the teachers tools. We planted trees for them. We sunk a borehole. We're sinking a borehole for them. And we fundraised last year, or 2019, we fundraised to get a solar panel that will run the borehole. So you guys get to contribute to something beyond you and beyond our own small games in life. When we make the focus about someone else, when we want to play this game to make a difference to others, it really makes it a lot less stressful on us. So think about why you're doing this. One of the reasons why we're doing this is this. Also, if you have any contacts in the Lions Club, any members in the Lions Club in any country in the world, please announce to them that we're fundraising to the Msandaka Lions Deaf Center. It's adopted by a lion, so our money actually goes to the Lions Club. They then administer the money and run this charity. It's a beautiful place. We'll do some tree planting. We'll meet these kids, and it will be amazing to make a difference there. Jeremy Bravo says, great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role, always about the goal. On that note, guys, we are going to wrap up today's webinar. Thanks for being on. We've taken a bit longer than normal. These should be between 45 minutes and an hour, but I want to leave you guys with some assignments. So either take a screenshot of this or write these down. Training and treks should start. Please schedule those in. If you're joining us, please diarize, please book your tickets, whatever you need to do. They're free for you if you're doing Kilimanjaro for the one-day ones. If it's the residential ones, you'll need to book those at a subsidized rate. Practice consuming 3 liters of water. Learn this song. I was hoping we'd have time to sing it, but we may not have time to sing it. Hi, we have James who's joined us for the next webinar starting at 7.
I'm early, mate. Sorry, I'll jump out.
James, this is the Kilimanjaro one. Maybe you were meant to find out about it. So,
maybe I was. Okay.
Yeah, we're just wrapping up.
Jumbo James.
Jumbo James. You got Sarge there on the other end.
Hey, how you doing, Sarge?
So we're going to sing this song on the mountain. I'm going to share this and play this video later because we are wrapping up now. I won't go to it now. But it's Jambo Bwana, which means greetings, sir. Habari gani means how you doing. Mzuri sana means I'm very well. And we go on to talk about our climb and journey up the mountain. And we say, don't worry, be happy. Hakuna Matata on the mountain. So I'm going to share this video with you after on the WhatsApp group for those that are doing Kilimanjaro. Get ready, prepare for it, and we will see you at the treks or we will see you at base. So quick reminder of, skip through the slides of what we've covered today. Just remember, it's all possible, and we're going to get through it with our visualization and our prep. So this is again the daily prep for those of you if you didn't record it. The weekly prep that we've got to do. Feel free to take a screenshot of this. Okay. On that note, guys, it's a wrap. Any final questions before we sign out?
No. Very clear. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks all for being on. Looking forward to seeing you all at the first trek or before then. Bye for now. Have an awesome
Nice meeting you all. Thank you.
Yeah, likewise. Lovely to have you join. All right. Bye for now, guys.
Take
Good
care,
night.
guys. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.